What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 287 of Opinions May Vary. I am your host, JR. I have my co-host with me, Alex.
Hi, how are you, JR?
Oh, I'm so good.
How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
You know.
You know what I've been saying a lot lately?
What's that?
Because people tend to ask me how I'm doing a lot.
Really?
It's a job,
Oh, okay.
casualty of the job.
Right.
Is that how they put it? No, it's something of the job. I don't know.
Social nicety.
Yeah, so people will say, how are you doing? It's one of the things that comes along with my job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I've been saying a lot lately?
What's that?
I'm well, thank you. Because that's the proper grammatical.
How you doing? You doing good?
I'm well.
Wrong. Superman does good. You're doing well. Learn your grammar.
And I always used to take.
You don't watch 30
I don't
Rock.
watch 30 Rock, but that's a good Tracy Morgan joke. I need to watch that just based on the fit. Because I like Parks and Rec. Do you think I'd like 30 Rock?
I do. It gets a bit. The element of wacky on Parks and Rec seems kind of high,
Right.
but it's not as high as 30 Rock. So if you're into wacky, almost to ludicrous,
Right.
it's there. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I'm a fan of Jenna Maroney's character.
I don't know.
She's the pretty blonde girl.
Okay.
Because she's just so into herself and comes up with the most ridiculous stuff. And I shouldn't like that kind of woman, but I do.
That's fair. That's fair. We're in a judgment-free zone here. We're like a Planet Fitness. There ain't no judging going on here.
Oh, that's false.
There's a little mild judging. It's like internal judging, which is every Planet Fitness.
True. Yeah.
I used to feel like people who would say I'm well.
Mm-hmm.
I always took it as passive aggressive. It's like I get it. I'm saying it wrong. I'm good. I'm
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
I used to say when I worked retail, I used to say, "Oh, not bad,"
Mm-hmm.
and people would get offended. They would say, "How are you?" "Oh, I'm not bad, thank you."
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. What does that mean?
Oh, that's it.
It means I'm fine. It means I'm working retail on a Saturday night, and I could be at home with my wife, but I'm not. That's what I'm fine means.
When I go into my job, and there's always the same dude outside having a smoke before the shift starts,
Mm-hmm.
and he always wants to say good morning to me, but it's 4 a.m. and I don't want to talk yet.
Yep.
So I give my response, because if I don't, he'll keep talking to me, and
Yep.
and so I don't even make words at him. So I get, "Hey, yo, Alex, what's up?" And I go, yeah. So now he'll say, what's up, and then he'll start saying my line of just mumbling, and I don't know, I almost don't have to say it anymore. Sometimes I'll miss one on purpose and actually have a conversation, be like, "Good morning, Richie, how you doing?"
I also had a similar thing at my old job,
Uh-huh.
and I did it. I've done it a couple of times at new job, and it's because it's still fresh to them. They bust a gut. Oh man, that's so funny.
You got to get the right crowd.
Yep. But I did it so often at my old job because it was just my generic response. I come into work and be, "Oh my, how are you? What's up? How's your day going? Blah blah, whatever."
Mm-hmm.
And it was always, just living the dream.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is this just what I remember? I remember where I got that expression. Because way back when I worked at my old store, because there's guys who show up with guns on their hips and uniforms, and they show up with a big sack, and they take the money.
Yeah.
And sometimes they give you money in the form of coin, because you need coins
Right.
when you work in a retail environment. And they may be singles, because eventually your singles are going to turn into 20s. And then you have all these 20s, and you have no singles.
Right.
So they'd show up, and they'd take our money, and then they would give us some money. And there was one guy, who's big, bald guy, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he'd warm up his food in our microwave. And he would come in and we'd say, "Oh, hey man, how's it going?" Unlocking the safe, blah, blah, whatever. And he'd always say, "Living the dream." And the first time I heard that, funniest thing, because he's clearly not.
I hear that a lot in the morning. Yeah. Yep.
So that turned into my default expression. And then it got to the point where I started to resent myself for saying it. I got tired of it myself.
Yeah.
And then my generic response toward the end of when I had worked at my previous job was, "Oh, hey, Jerry, how are you?" "Oh, well,
That's one of the most New England answers. So to keep this going a little too long, I'll switch it up because I do that sometimes, and I'll say I'm dreaming to live.
Jesus.
I'm dreaming to live, and if you, what was your last one?
Well, you know.
Well, okay. If you do or like, oh, how's it going? You go, meh. Eventually, they stop asking you.
Yep.
Which, as like a New Englander that doesn't want to associate with anyone, that's the exact response you want.
Yep. And like typically, the most you'll ever get is, "Oh, that good, huh?"
Yeah.
And then, yep, because most of the time they get it, so it's like, okay, I will piss off.
You give them the mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sometimes the was just a, "Hey, Jeremy, how are you?" Yep.
Yeah.
I am.
But if you get the wrong person, they're going to want to fix it for you.
Yeah.
And they'll pull up a chair and go, "Oh, well, let's talk about it." And
yeah, we're not going to do that.
That was the incorrect route.
We're not going to do that. I don't need to go that deep right now. My shift is just starting.
This could be a long and dangerous trail you'll travel down that you'll regret.
But to be fair, I did really enjoy my own job, and I was just being a big baby because there's only so long you can do it's 2 p.m, time to go to work on a Thursday night. I mean, could have been worse, but let's get down to business.
Yeah.
Because it was up until today and yesterday, it was starting to get chilly.
Mm.
Like there's a couple leaves on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
A couple.
The grass stops growing.
Right? I haven't mowed my lawn in 2 weeks. I really need to, though. Because like in that 2 weeks, it's grown like as much as it should have in like a week over the summer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's getting a little chilly. The days are getting shorter, which is kind of a bummer. I like long days. But like 7:30 hits and it's almost dark.
Yeah.
And
it makes taking naps easier, though.
Jesus.
Because then the sun's not out as much.
This whole episode is listen to how old we are now.
I hope there's someone like nodding along going, yeah, naps.
Naps. Crucial naps.
They're important.
Typically, it's rare these days when my wife does not take a Saturday nap. Because, like, she's up, regardless, like, I got to give it to her all the time. That mildly sexual, that sounded. But I was giving props, essentially, because during the week, she is awake at 5:30 in the morning every day to take care of the dog. Because the dog starts going bonkers. So she gets up and she takes care of him, enjoys her morning, and then we go to work a couple hours later. And then on weekends, she's lucky if she sleeps in to 7. 7 o'clock is, wow, I really got to sleep in. So she's typically up at the crack of dawn on the weekends, taking care of the dog, so I don't have to. So I don't like, and then she likes to stay busy on the weekends. Like this weekend, she's cleaning the fence. God, this is so riveting shit. So typically naps are warranted. Yeah. But you can't beat a good Saturday nap. Just a good nap. But anyways, the days are getting shorter. It's getting a little chill. I took the air conditioners out. Can we discuss air conditioners? No, we're not talking about air conditioners now. Very efficient these days, air conditioners.
I almost took mine out, but I left it in because I was either lazy or warned not to in case it got hot again.
See, that's the thing. I was initially like, maybe this is a little early. But it was chilly. It was consistently chilly. We hadn't used any of our air conditioners for like a week and a half. Yeah. Yep. So I was like, okay, I'm taking them out. Because then we can open the windows and we're going to use it. Because like, it was getting hot in our room. Yeah. But I didn't want to use the air conditioner because it was like 60 degrees out.
Right. It's not enough.
But I can't open the window because the air conditioner's in it. Anyways, what I'm getting at is that it's getting toward fall.
The horse has got to pull the cart, so I can't put the car.
So I was paying my mortgage the other day because I have a mortgage now.
Then there's insurance.
You guys hear about this Equifax thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Come on.
What?
There's like a 1 in 3 chance that your shit was leaked.
Wasn't there also a thing of like if you try to go through Equifax to see if you were a victim, like you're basically giving up all your rights?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we can help you out, but you're also waiving any liability on our end.
Yeah.
So
that's great. Good job.
We messed up, but we'll try to help. Anyways.
Yeah.
So it's mid-September.
It was kind of toasty today.
Yeah, it sucked.
But I hung out in a hockey rink.
Mildly
today.
jealous.
Yeah.
Because
It
I was
was-
like sweating a little bit today.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
Just the trip back and forth to the car.
What were you doing in a hockey rink, Alex?
I was alerted to a little event called CT HorrorFest. CT standing for Connecticut.
Oh.
Yeah, Connecticut HorrorFest. It's been running for a few years now.
Mm-hmm.
And our good friend Kyle Pascatuti,
It's not his name.
Pasciuti, that's the correct terminology.
The
correct
Paschutes.
pronunciation. The Paschutes. Yeah, I don't think anyone else calls them that. Just
From
us.
Decimated Designs?
Mm-hmm. You can hashtag get decimated with decimated designs. It was a neat little show. In the past, we talked about what was it, Monster Mania, which like a lot. Kyle just told me a story.
Oh.
It was good, and I was kind of sad that I hadn't heard it earlier. I'll get back to it. But where are we? We're mid-September right now.
Yep.
Mid to late September.
Coming up on the spooky.
October is like a couple weeks away.
This is like your teaser,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
will, to our typical October
Yep.
festivities, which I'm really excited for this year because I had to miss out on a lot of them last year.
Mm.
So I was very deep in a terrifying new job. So I'm like, I hope they bring back a new Overwatch event.
Yeah.
'Cause I only got to play that like maybe on the weekends a little bit.
Did you
When
get
I-
a total of like 2 hours maybe?
I played probably more than I should have because I should have been focusing on
Yeah.
new job, but I definitely did not play nearly as much as I wanted to.
Mm.
But
So you
Yeah.
missed out on a lot of the skins too.
I managed to get a good amount of them,
Yeah.
the ones that I wanted.
Yeah. Well, there were ones that were really cool. Like I'm never gonna play the character, but
Yeah.
at least I got this.
I got the Skull Zenyatta one, which at the time I was pretty much a Zenyatta main. So
There's a Skulls in the other?
yeah, he looks
have
like a
to-
skeleton.
I have to look that up. I don't.
Skull Yatta.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, that's
Not at
one of
all.
my that one and the
Reaper looks cool.
Reaper. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the ones that I did not get. I did get the Pharaoh one. I got the Soldier 76 was one of the ones that I really wanted because
I got that one.
looks
That's
like Michael Jackson.
he does.
Can
Can we trade the Reaper and the Pharaoh? Because I
for
want
the ice one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want the Pharaoh, and you can have my Reaper.
See, I don't play Reaper though.
Neither do I.
I don't. I play Pharaoh's my. Nothing's working. I guess I'll play Pharaoh.
If I could see the whole map, maybe I'll do. Whoops.
Yep. I'm just bad. I can't hit rockets for shit. Anyways, you went to CT Horror Fest
Mhm.
and you saw some scary things. I'm assuming.
I
maybe?
did. There was some really neat, and it was nice going to a show where everyone there gets it and everyone tries. Because there's other shows where things are kind of related and like they might kind of try a little bit,
Mhm.
but they still miss the mark. But that's because it's like one or two groups trying to do horror stuff at a Comic-Con. And so not everyone is really getting the horror stuff because it's Comic-Con and there's too many celebrities there. Yeah, this was held at an ice rink. Which like they just covered up the floor with, these panels that
Right.
kind of shift a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, it wasn't terrible.
Keep you on your toes.
Yeah, I didn't see anyone trip terribly. So like one of my examples of like people that get it, there was a massage booth with like one of those chairs that you sit in and lean forward.
Right. You
And,
put your
like-
face in it.
Yeah. And like and like the person like rubs your back and does the shoulders and whatever. So the two girls that were doing that, one was fully dressed up as one of the nurses from Pyramid Head.
Silent Hill.
So, yeah, Silent Hill. So like you had a Silent Hill nurse like giving you this nice shoulder massage.
I don't know if I want that.
Like I normally don't like getting like these massage chair things. But then I saw it in action. I was like, that would actually be pretty nice. Because it would be fun. Like who gets to
I
sit
mean, the
like
more I
that?
think about it,
Yeah.
like the more okay I am with it.
If I had a picture of me getting it.
What if Pyramid Head was also doing it? Like, was he watching? Like,
He wasn't there.
that's for the best.
And the other girl had a mask that was more like the most recent Purge.
Oh,
With like,
right.
with
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
neon over the eyes kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So like that's cool. There's a few other elements, like there's a lot of vendors. All the vendors had stuff that was really attuned to the horror fans and fans of Halloween. and like maybe a couple had the regular stuff you might find at Hot Topic. It's like, oh, it's all your shirts of all the horror things, and movies and slashers, whatever. But then there were other ones like they were a bit more kitschy, and that might have been something that you'd find like more tuned to a Coney Island or something. Like the regular fare you might catch at a Coney Island was at this event. So I got a pin and some coins and some scarves.
The usual. I've seen you pick up probably one or all of those things at other conventions. Obviously different versions of them.
Yeah.
Last year in New York, I saw you pick up some
a bandana.
Some bandanas.
Yep.
Also some pins. I've seen you pick up coins. Have you ever posted a picture of your coin collection? We might need to get that up at some point. It's a very impressive collection.
I don't know if I've done it on my own page or on the
OMV
page.
Yeah.
Because usually NSN Art will point out the Arsenic Lullaby coins.
Right. Did you see? Go ahead.
Because he had those made.
Right.
NSN made the coins for Paskovich.
Mm-hmm.
Did I see?
Did you see? Was there a lot of because you mentioned Halloween. Obviously, Halloween is coming, but Halloween the series with like they just released that image of Jamie Lee Curtis. Like they're bringing back the new movie next year, next October.
Yeah. Right.
Like where people like, oh shit, grab all the Michael Myers stuff, like flood the market. Halloween's back. I've actually never seen a Halloween movie.
To be honest, it never really left.
Right.
The Halloween franchise, like no one's ever been like it's never been lost to time. Like it's equally as prominent as any of the Friday the 13th and any of the Jasons and any of the Nightmare on Elm Street and Freddy and those.
Right.
Like those are the big three, and so they're never really missing or underrepresented. In fact, Dick Warlock was there. He was from Halloween too. He was Mike Myers.
Fun fact: Dick Warlock. I just learned that he exists. Has the best name ever. That's just.
It could be a name or a description of his occupation. You know, either or.
Or his pornography name if he decided to. He doesn't need a different name. He doesn't need a stage name.
Yeah.
He already has it.
Which he had a big line of people wanting to get autographs and pictures and whatever. I usually don't see people getting their latex masks signed.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Right.
But I guess if you'd like display it on like a head,
like a mannequin head.
Yeah.
So people had their Mike Myers mask to get signed by Dick Warlock.
And that's if you're gonna get a mask to get signed, that's probably the one because it's you'll see it the most.
I would imagine that like Slipknot has gotten a lot of masks to sign too.
Oh yeah.
Would they autograph those? Yeah, I guess so.
I would be surprised if they did not. Should ask Jamie.
Yeah, that'd be Jamie. Any of the masks you've made? Jamie Stonedead from I think 2 years ago now.
It was a while back.
Our spoopy episodes. And here I'm going to show Jar a quick picture here.
Oh God, a bunch of Georgies.
There were 4 girls walking around in raincoats and holding red balloons, and like they were just regular girls, you know, from high school, college, whatever,
playing Georgie.
Yeah.
Which respect, because you know it being an older book, an older series. Mm-hmm. I'm glad to see it's back. You know, like with the youth these days.
Well, the movie just came out.
It is. By the way, if you haven't, I imagine we're probably going to talk if we happen to. I need to talk to Will essentially,
right.
Will and John.
Yeah.
Because I managed to catch it with Colin and our friend Dan, a couple weeks ago. I don't do scary movies. I don't do them. I will straight up admit, I will 100% close my eyes if I'm not feeling it. I will look away. Mm-hmm. I will pretend to be taking a sip out of my soda, which just happens to divert my gaze away from the screen. At one point, I was literally like pretty much snuggling up to Colin, and I had a hood on. I had my hoodie and like strategically like covering half my vision. I don't do scary well. I don't like being scared.
We are so different.
Yeah, I don't like being scared.
Because there's elements of scary movies where like I'm leaning forward with my mouth open, like waiting for the scare to hit me. Mm-hmm. And Brett can attest to this. There's like the most disgusting, terrifying elements that are happening on screen, and I'm laughing.
My dad's the same way.
Like bothering the rest of the theater laughing because they're all cringing, and I think it's great and
Right.
it looks awesome.
I don't like jump scares.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're unfair.
That's fair.
I think they're cheap,
Yeah.
and it like I don't fully admit like they make me jump and they scare the shit out of me. You know, like it's like, but it's like, am I scared or just startled?
Yeah.
You know, and
because it's not just the motion. Like they will edit in like a screech of some kind.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's the sound editor that'll get you too.
And like the original trailer for it, I was like, oh my god, this looks amazing. It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Curry, no Tim Curry. I was really hoping for a Tim Curry cameo, but one can dream. And then like the second trailer came out, and I was like, that was full of jump scares. And now I'm not as excited to see this anymore. And we went to see the movie like right from the get go. I'm like, me and Dan were both like cursing Collins. Why did you drag us? Why did we agree to this? Why do we want to do this? Like, because I've read the book, I've seen part of the original, but and like I do, as soon as like something that might be scary comes, like there's one part in the movie where all the kids are swimming in a lake.
Okay.
It's a good bonding moment. They're all swimming in a lake. They jumped off a cliff together.
Okay.
And at one point, one of them like dives underwater, and the camera follows. And I go, God damn it! Something's gonna happen right now. But like nothing happened. The kid just surfaced again, and we're all having fun. And then it goes on to the next scene.
Yeah.
But like I was like, oh, why is the camera following under the water? Obviously, because water you can't see anything, and there's gonna be a stupid jump scare. Yeah. So I start cursing and I get pissed because I know I'm about to get scared.
He's not floating. Is he supposed to float?
But it was and there was one.
In the past, like Will said, he hates jump scares, and it's usually not even like the thing you're supposed to be afraid of. It's a cat or a mirror.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
There was one part, and it was in the trailer. It's in the trailer, so like I've seen it, but like it catches you so up. There's one part where one of the characters is just there, and it's a calming moment. Okay, time to go see the guys. And like she turns, and boom, Pennywise is right there and just grabs her by the throat. It's a split second, but like that was the big. I jumped 6 inches out of the seat. I yelled out loud. Jesus Christ. And then we all laugh at each other for getting scared.
Yeah.
So it was a fun moment, but it scared the shit out of me. It was a good movie, really good movie though. I'm sure we'll talk about it at length soon. But anyways, CT Horror Fest. So we're talking about getting the Michael Myers mask signed. That's where all that spawned from.
There was also at least one person like in full Mike Myers like jumpsuit.
As you do.
And knife and mask and everything. No, actually, no knife. They had a specific like props rule this year.
Which in past events similar to this one, they've been more lax.
Yeah.
Because we've been to shows where unless your shit is plastic, it ain't coming in.
Or foam.
Unless it's got the right colors. Nope.
The orange tip guns if you have a prop gun and you can't fire. You have to go to weapons check. You got to approve our weapons check. And they say if you can bring it or not, and then they tag it to let it know everyone else know it's safe.
And in past horror shows, you have walked in with a machete, right?
Okay, so years ago,
story time.
Years ago, it was Monster Mania. Did we talk about this on last episode with Bob and Jared? Crazy thing, or 2 episodes ago. So crazy thing. When I was at that Monster Mania, that was in Cromwell, Connecticut. It was a bunch of years ago. Recently after the 2009 Friday the 13th movie with Derek Mears, sorry. Jason Mewes was there too for some reason.
Of course.
Yeah. But not until years later, after we all become friends, do we realize that I was at that show, Jared was at the same show, Bob was at the same show, Kyle was at the same show, Noah was at that show, and KT was at that show. At the time, none of us knew each other. I think Kyle and Noah might have known each other.
Did Bob and Jared know each other?
Nope.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Crazy. So that show, I'd been aware of other Comic Cons and anime cons who have rules for props and weapons and everything, and some flat out say no live metal, which means no swords. And
which is fair.
Yeah, I get it. And like, anime cons especially have these rules.
Because the weapons are enormous.
Yeah. Your giant Buster Sword or your I can't think of the terms for
other
Bleach
Buster
now.
Sword.
your Bankais and everything. And so I went in with my friend and I found someone who worked there, one of the volunteers, and I was like, hey, I brought a Jason machete. There's 4 Jasons here, and I would like all the Jasons to sign it. Is that okay? And like this guy kind of like says, let me find someone else,
Right.
like someone above
I
him.
cannot be responsible for that decision.
So like he goes and finds like one of the volunteers, and they get like one of the staff security people to come over. So now I'm talking to like one of the people that like kind of runs the show, and like I'm talking to them because I was currently in line for Rubber England, and
Freddy Krueger, of course.
Yep.
Yep.
And no, that wasn't it. I was in line for someone else. Never mind.
I thought you were about to say he wasn't Freddy Krueger. And I was like,
I
no,
don't
I'm pretty
remember
sure he was.
Because I saw Freddy with friend Vera, but it was with friend Trish when I asked about the machete.
Mm-hmm.
And so, different guy comes over, and there's like I can see there's like the main guy, and there's someone behind him, and I'm saying like, oh, I brought a machete. I want Jason's in. Is that okay? And he just goes, yeah, just don't do anything stupid with it. I'm like, I can do not stupid. Because like I had the sheath kind of zip side to it,
Mm-hmm.
so the blade wasn't exposed. And then I'd carry that like in a mailing tube.
Right.
So I'm just carrying this tube around.
You have many layers.
Yeah.
And it's nondescript. It's,
Right.
Look at that guy with his posters.
I'm just like walking around like with a machete in my fist, right?
It's okay. I'm going to see Jason.
Not Jason Mewes, the other one. And I had a good time, and I went to all the Jasons, and I paid up all the money, and I also got pictures with each one. Derek Myers was like just holding it, looking amazing because he's huge and buff.
Yep.
And the other ones were like holding it to my throat, so I'm in the picture with them, and that's a lot of fun.
That's a lot of trust you put in strangers.
Well, yeah. Well, they're famous strangers, so
Yeah.
they can do what they want.
They could have their way with me.
which made today important.
If you're gonna get killed by anyone, I mean, might as well be Jason.
Because Tom Morga was there today.
Who is a Jason?
He's one of the Jasons. He's number 5, or he's from Jason 5, which means he's the 4th.
I don't know. I have seen 3 Jason movies. 2 of them were at Will's house at the last Friday the 13th get together that he had before he moved out.
Mm-hmm.
When's the next one?
So I had my machete in the past was signed by Jason 2, Jason 3, 6, and then Derek, who was 09. And then Tom Morga is from part 5. And I was like, I don't have part 5 yet. I don't have this guy.
This is Friday the 13th next month. In October.
In October, yeah.
What
It's going to be important.
Anyways.
And so I'm talking to Kyle at his Decimated Designs booth, and he starts talking to me. He's like, oh, yeah, I never told you part of that story. And I go, part of what? Because we would talk about the Monster Mania thing and how like we didn't know anyone yet.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle's like, so the security guy that approved you turned to me and said, keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
And he's like, he couldn't like specifically put me on you, but they told me to watch.
Was Kyle like working the event?
Yeah, he was one of the volunteers. Yep. And so like for the entire show,
You know how big the world is.
so just all this time we've known each other, like the past 4 or 5 years or whatever.
His first experience with you was to keep an eye on you to make sure you didn't do anything stupid with a machete. If that's not fate.
So this guy was ghosting me the entire. I had no idea because you're not really looking around for a show. You're experiencing the convention, not like.
Especially if you're not planning on doing anything stupid anyways. You don't.
Oh yeah. If I was trying to be suspicious, I'd look really suspicious.
I would be terrified that everyone is watching me.
But Kyle would just go about his business and keep an eyes open and be like, oh yeah, you just got to sign by that guy. And like he's sitting down and it's just leaving it in the tube. Okay. And I'm like, oh yeah, you got to sign by that guy. And I was like, no shit. I had no idea. And this is the first time you've told me this.
It's like that deep, dark secret. It's like how in Mission Impossible 4? Yeah, no, I don't want to spoil. It's similar type thing.
Okay.
So yeah, Jason 5 was there.
Yeah. And in this convention had a rule because there's been some recent like past problems with conventions and people bringing in weapons or misbehaving and whatnot. So they're just cracking down before anything terrible happens.
Yep.
But the rules for this one was you had to approach the ticket table where you'd pay to get in and like contact someone there, and then they would carry your prop in for you and either meet you at the table of the person you want to sign it or like go with you and like kind of escort you there. And so they would be in control of it, and they would hold it, and then they would pass it to the celebrity to sign it, and then you walk with them back to the table, and then you bring it to your car, or you can leave it at the front table. Right.
Like a coat check almost.
Yeah. So like I went into the show and like did my rounds, did a bunch of stuff, talked to some people, and then I was like, all right, it's I checked the guy's line, and his line looks pretty good right now, and so I head up and I find one of the staff members, and I go, so I've got a Jason machete, I want to bring it to the signs, so like this is the place where I come to like drop it off, right? And he's like, yeah, and this is this, and like even then like they're not sure what your reaction's gonna be if you're entering a convention and like someone starts telling you the rules and what you can and can't do. Like you might, it's like, but this is my prop, this is part of my thing, like this is my property, I'm just gonna hand it over. Sometimes people are like, don't react well to that,
right?
But like going in, I absolutely understood. And so I went to my car, came back, I found the same guy I talked to. I'm like, hold up the tube, it's still in the tube, and I'm like, here's the thing. I'm like, do I hand it over now? And then he goes and tells his boss, and she's like, okay, we just asked that, like, when you're done, can you bring it back to her? I was like, sure, that was the plan anyway. Like, I get it, I understand, I'm cooperating. And we actually met with Tom, like, in that hallway, because he was bringing a guy back who had, like, his plastic machete signed. Mm-hmm. And the staff member was like, oh, can you just sign it here? Because we're all right here. And he's like, I don't have any my pens here. They're all at the table. Right. And then we got to go the back way because there was a preferred entrance to get into like the hockey rink, which was a problem I'll get to later. Yeah. So it brings us like this nice secret path, which like skipped all the crowd, got a sign, got my picture, paid the man. Right. And then like got escorted back out to the front, and then we're good.
It can seem like this world is going to shit at times. Yeah. With the current political landscape and things of that nature. But it is a beautiful thing that you can be at a show. Like, theoretically, if I was there with you, it's like we go to check the line for Jason, and you get to say, I'll be right back. I got to go get my machete. Let me go snag my machete because I need to have this guy right on it.
And what was fun,
it's just a beautiful thing.
When I bought it, like it came in a sheath that you could like clip to your belt or whatever. Yeah. And so like
for your various, trekking
expeditions.
Yes, of course.
Jungles, escaping. Is there like a jungle spelunking term? No.
Jalunking?
And so like the staff member aimed the tube at Tom Morga, and like he was taking the sheath out, and there was like two other guys who were there like looking at his pictures to buy an autograph, and like they're watching him like unsheath this machete which already has 4 signatures on it. These other two dudes are like, oh my god, that's awesome.
I know.
They turned to me and they're like, that's awesome, dude. I'm like, yeah, it is.
It really is.
It's great.
Because yours is signed by, and it's signed by the original antagonist, correct?
No.
It's not?
No.
I thought it was signed by the mom. It was not.
Vera got that one for her man friend back in the day.
Right.
So I don't own that one. But, and you know what? I kind of regret that, not getting that. I wish I did now. Yeah. It's a big regret. So let's talk about that now.
Yeah, we're going to segue right into that one. I didn't believe you. This is going to be my epilogue.
It took the picture?
I'm going to say, I didn't believe you.
Right.
Now let's go back and figure out what we're talking about here. I wish there was a way we could visually show the picture that Will sent you before telling the story. This is what Will sent us after hearing this.
When I was there chatting with friends Kyle and Noah, Noah's like, yeah, so I saw it on the website too. Betsy Palmer was the mother from the first Jason.
Right.
So she was the actual antagonist who did, spoiler alert, she did all the killing because her son Jason had died.
Right.
So Jason wasn't actually the killer yet. Not until the future 13s came out. So she goes to these horror shows and like loves them, loves all the fans. She hugged me last time, which was really awkward because I was just going to be awkward to stand next to her.
Right.
And she grabs my arms and wraps them around her and is like, come here, big boy.
Yes, ma'am.
Forced me to hug her. And like, even though she was pretty up there in age and like felt kind of frail, she was strong too.
When you get hugged by Mrs. Voorhees, you let it happen.
And she had a bunch of pictures you could buy and get autographs. So like, I didn't have her sign my machete. That's a super regret because she has since passed.
Right.
She's dead now, and her daughter does these shows and brings like, you know, photos that she had signed when she was still alive. So you can still buy autographed pictures and, you know, other stuff of hers. And so Noah shows me a picture. He's like, I took a picture at the Betsy Palmer booth with her urn. And I was like, ooh, I didn't have words. I was kind of like, what? And then he like shows me the picture. It was a really nice bottle. And I'm like, no way. And he's like, yeah, it's there. He walked up and he said, oh, when she came to the Monster Mania, he's like, I was a volunteer and I showed her to her table and I helped her get set up and I walked her in. And the daughter was like, oh, that's really nice of you. Thanks for doing that. Do you want a picture with her urn? And he was like, okay. And so there was a sign saying no pictures, so I wasn't supposed to take it. But I sneaked one anyway.
You took a picture of the back of you know, a thing that
table,
happened. It happened to be in the frame.
There was this table. It's just a sign on a table.
You were trying to open your phone and accidentally snapped a picture.
Because I had to prove it. If I just told you, you wouldn't believe me.
I still don't.
You still don't. Yep, that's okay.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around the logic. Because like the photos are one thing. Like, hey,
it looks nice, right?
That's a good looking urn if I've ever seen one. I just can't grasp. Well, I'll go to this show that my mother would have gone to, mm-hmm. and I'll bring her ashes along.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if someone stole it? Like,
what if you dropped it? Do you go vacuum up mom?
Assuming it's like, you know, how legitimate it can.
Right. Yeah.
Who knows? I'm not.
No, I'd say that's
not accusing anyone, but
in a conversation with Will, I was like, well, you know, you can't really tell if it's honestly, or, you know, could be just charcoal scrapings out of the barbecue grill or something, and we'll just say it's, you know, a person's ashes.
Right.
So then there's even worse jokes that come out of that, and Will's like, well, look for some teeth in there and see if,
oof.
Just see if
I imagine there are people out there who would see some and demand validation. It's like people who get angry at magic tricks.
Yeah.
They would need to know. You'd prove to me that is who you say it is.
I would hope there's a lot of horror fans that understand the suspension of disbelief. We're like, Freddy's not actually killing people through their dreams. It's okay. It's an act. Like, look, there's a guy who acts like Freddy. He's not actually Freddy. If they could accept that, then maybe they could accept, you know, we'll just let this slide. If you want to say it is, and we'll just go ahead and say, yeah, yep. Sure it is.
I'll believe you, and maybe I'll take a picture with it.
So there was a sign with like a bunch of prices posted, and I couldn't really see if there was like a price for picture with urn. And one friend asked me if I did get one, and I was like, no. But since I missed the chance to get her autograph, I almost wanted to take a picture of the urn with the machete.
Right.
But
because the machete wouldn't have existed.
It wouldn't, no.
Without her. The machete as yours is intended. Obviously, the machete would have existed, but like that machete.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have we talked about her in the past?
I believe so.
She wasn't going to take the job, but her car broke down. She needed to like pay for her car repair, so that's why she took the job.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
This is where she's went with it. So that was interesting. That was in the autograph area.
Yeah. How do you even move on from that?
Yo, I saw Krampus.
Okay, let's talk Krampus.
I posted a picture on Instagram already because it was one of the most genuine, like classic Krampus that you might see from all the videos, like straight from Germany. Like the American versions don't quite have the same.
We have the Krampus.
Yeah, but like classic, German Christmas demons, a lot of them have a similar look to them.
Right.
And it's a big furry suit, and they all have like the same kind of bell on it because the bells have very specific sounds to them. And so like I was hearing those bells before I even walked into the rink, and I was like, "Is that?" It sounds like
Is that
Krampus
the wonderful
bells.
sound of a Krampus? It's like how one might get excited about reindeer bells.
It's exactly like that.
Which and even thinking about they have a very specific ring.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have like. It's okay. Every year we make the trek up to the Yankee Candle up in Deerfield.
Yeah.
And like we wanted to get a one of the things you could like hang over your doorknob that has the bells on it. My wife and I spent the entirety of the trip there shaking every single thing with bells on it to determine if it was the correct bell. So
Okay.
shake this. No, I like the look of it, but it doesn't have the right. It's not the right bell. It's not there.
Okay. If you guys, let's say, if she was like, look, it doesn't matter, just pick one. Would you guys be done? Like divorced?
The best part is like she with those kind of decisions,
Yeah.
she's right there with me.
Right. But if she was like, it doesn't matter, just pick one.
Yeah, then we'd have words. It does matter, and
It's nice that you guys
I
have
expect more from you. But luckily, I don't need to have those conversations because maybe
Right.
she's just humoring me. Who knows? But she is on board. Like when it's like, no, it needs to have the right ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, Krampus bells. Obvious. Let's get back to the real meat and potatoes here.
So I got a picture. I got two pictures because I had to get the back because she had the basket too. Because the Krampus steals bad children and puts them in the basket.
Obviously.
Right. And I'm saying she because she already found the picture that I posted and said, that's me.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure I tag her later on and I'll fix that up and you can check out her Instagram too.
Check us out on Instagram. Opinions May Vary podcast, or is it just Opinions May Vary? I can't remember our handle.
Opinions may vary. That's
Yes,
it.
yes,
Yeah.
all one
Yeah.
word.
Yep.
You can see the beautiful stuff like that, like a good old looking, good looking Krampus. Where else are you gonna see stuff like that?
Yeah, that's kind of it. We don't really have Krampus events over here.
Shame.
I got to watch some of Jess O'Lantern. She's a musician. She was supposed to be at Steampunk World's Fair this past year, but either timing didn't work out or there was delay, or I don't know. She wasn't there, or we didn't see her at least. I tried looking for her, but she was here at CT HorrorFest, and she like had some nice like spooky songs. That was fun.
It's like setting the mood, you know.
She probably could have sounded better because she wasn't like in an acoustic friendly room.
Mm-hmm.
She was kind of pipe and drape sectioned off
Right.
from all the vendors where everyone's just like milling about.
That's tough.
And you walk right past that seated area just to enter.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like a mini stage kind of, and then rows of seats. So even that was kind of cramped to get down. It sat maybe 60 people if every seat was taken.
Right.
But like if she had like a true sound system set up, I bet she would sound really good. She was pretty cool. I did take a picture of a traffic jam while they were trying to have the costume contest. Because like the people in costume are going to line up here. And then everyone's going to want to take pictures of all the costumes. So everyone's just standing there. And that's the main entrance to get in.
Mm-hmm.
So people will walk and then stop because, oh, what's going on here? And like me and some big dude like collided. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, no, I'm sorry. I thought we were walking, but no one else is walking. Like me and this dude had the same idea.
Yep.
But like didn't work right away. One of the things that's been happening more recently is like tattoo shops showing up to some events. There was
some at Boston.
There was I think 8 artists
Jesus.
at Boston.
That's a lot of buzzing.
Because they had like a whole setup with like many booths taken up, which was pretty cool. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Unbelievable.
I would have liked to watch some of the Boston tattooing more if there was more room, but I've had my talk about that.
Yep.
There was as I walked by the first time, there was a guy kind of like standing in the aisle watching that tattoos get done.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard one of his buddies be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm going to wait for a tattoo." And like, I kind of chuckled because watching,
No, you were not.
watching what was happening, like these were the only tattoos they were doing that day. Because one guy was getting a portrait on his back and a girl was getting a Nosferatu face on her leg. And like, they were many, many hour jobs.
Right. And even if they happen to finish, if you were looking to also get a tattoo, that means you are going to sit down there. Like, they're not going to take their, like, oh, you want like a half-hour session, waste my time? You know, they're probably going to look to do a piece.
Because if you're doing it in front of so many people, if you're in public, like, now it's kind of performing. Like, you better get this right.
And it turns into, like, how much of the show is left.
Yeah.
You know, even if they finished up and there was like 2 hours of the show left, they probably wouldn't have time to do a complete thing on you. So like, maybe just make an appointment.
You want a zombie smiley face, I guess. That's all the time we got, kids.
Live, laugh, love around my ankle.
I'm trying to think of what a better version that would be. But I took some pictures. Also, I was talking to a guy who's friends with the girl who was getting tattooed, and he sent me a bunch of links. So when I post the pictures, I'll also post their handles, their Instagram stuff. Mm-hmm. They were from Painted Soul Tattoos out of Wallingford. It was Ricky Borchert, Borchert.
Sounds like Borchert.
And Mike Franco. Yeah, they're both out of Wallingford and Painted Soul Tattoos. And I'll post some pictures because that Nosferatu looks really nice. Like, it's really good portrait work. He specializes in horror portraits. What else do I want to talk about?
You mentioned, was it something to do with lines, crowd? Because you said you want to talk about it a little bit later.
That was the traffic jam.
Oh, okay. Yep.
In front of the costume contest.
Yep.
Was
it when you think CT, like, because with the time of the year, is it a lot of Halloween type stuff, or is it horror stuff?
It wasn't. It was not like straight up Halloween, because for these people Halloween is going to be all year anyway.
Right.
So it's not like, hey, it's finally time. It's like Michael's finally got their new stock in. No. It's not like, oh, we get to our target now. This is like their all year round thing for the guests and the vendors. A lot of authors who write in horror books and whatnot. A couple artists. I almost got a sketch from a guy who drew a Godzilla series for IDW. And I would have asked him to do like Godzilla versus a Sentinel or something.
Right.
But I didn't have like an example sketch in front of me to go off of.
Right.
To fork over that kind of money for. The price was fair, but like it would end up being 2 characters. So I imagine that would have doubled it.
Yeah. And you got to know like who, what kind of art they're going to give you.
Yeah.
It's like I wouldn't want, such and such to draw me I can't think of any examples.
Right. No, I follow.
You got to play the artist.
Yeah.
Not play the artist. You got to play to their strengths. There we go.
The night before, there was a chance to go see House of a Thousand Corpses with Sid Haig, who's Captain Spaulding.
Right.
And then he would also do a Q&A. So like it's not just like you're watching the movie and then you're done. He was in the audience somewhere. No, he would do a Q&A afterwards. So that's cool. It's like getting to hang out with him.
It's a lot of corpses. Did you end up going?
I didn't.
Shame.
There are still some tickets left over. I know Kyle and Joe both went. Joe works with Kyle at Decimated. Mm-hmm. Ken Foree was one of the dudes from Dawn of the Dead, the first one.
Like the original.
Yeah. Adrienne Barbeau, who was in the first Swamp Thing and Escape from New York. She had a long line. And I went to get Tom and Lisa. Tom being the Jason, like he was one of the reasons. My deciding factor was like, maybe I won't go because I have stuff to do around the house. And I should save money. And like New York Comic Con's in a couple of weeks. And then I was like, I need to fill my Jason machete.
Yep.
And I really want to go see Wednesday Addams. So Lisa Loring who was the original Wednesday Addams from the 1960s black and white show.
Not Christina Ricci.
Not Christina Ricci. I mean, I would still want to get her autograph too. But
I thought she was great as Wednesday.
she was good. Yeah.
But, I've been waiting for. I'm hijacking for a brief moment.
Okay.
One of my favorite things that's happened in recent. Again, I'm going back to my wife. Was last year. I came home from work recording. I can't remember what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe it was right when I was just getting out of retail. So I got home from work because it was late. I remember being late. And I got home and like before I could even say anything, like put my keys down, I'm about to walk in the living room, I just hear my wife yells from the living room, it's cold tonight and it's fall, so I'm watching the Addams Family. And like, to be fair, I'm not even going to lie here.
Yeah.
I had never seen the Addams Family, the movie.
Okay.
With Christina Ricci and Christopher Lloyd, and I'd seen bits and pieces, so like I could respect it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But and like I watched little bits of it with John when John and I lived together, because like John, big fan of Raul Julia as Gomez, and we like I sat down and because like it's one of those rare times where like she was showing me something. Typically I'm the one who bores her with everything. It's like, look at this shit that I like. She's like, wow, that was neat shit. Very cool shit. And like I got to sit down and watch the Addams Family for like the first time with her, and it was really neat. And I was like, okay, I'm okay with this. Yeah. But I've never seen the. Do you mind if I'm
ahead.
motioning toward your box set? Which let's hear about this box set.
It's a box set.
Yeah, but what happened with it?
It's the 2 seasons of from 64 to 66. Was when it aired first. So had to wait in line. I don't know the situation, but I feel like there was some kind of accident because Lisa kept putting an ice pack on her face. She had kind of a black eye. So I'm not sure what happened, but you know, she still showed up to sign autographs.
Which is like, man, respect.
Oh yeah.
Because
like if something happens to me,
ruin you.
I don't want anyone to see me at all.
Don't talk to me. Don't ask me about it. I don't want to see. Like,
right.
I gotta
doing autographs and
give
taking pictures with fans and everything. And like, I'm not gonna guess what her age is now because she also did soap operas too.
Mm.
But like, when you're gonna take a picture with her, she like gets up and hits a pose. She nails a pose every time, which is fun. It's not like someone just boringly gets up and like, you know, lazy eyes until you're done snapping. She's like hitting it. It's great. But there's a sign for autographs, $25, pictures, $25, combo for $40. Okay. So I go up and like, I was debating getting a picture for a friend and I was like, man, they'll be okay. They could just hear the story. I don't need really to gift anyone else stuff. And I go to take out my DVDs, the box, from my bag, and like they both look at the box, and because it was her and also a helper gentleman, and they both go, "Oh, that's gonna be $50," and I'm like, "But it's," and like I was just like looking around, like, but like I kind of had a pretty good brain fart because I didn't know what to do. Like, I don't.
Do you look like a dick and bail? Do you?
Do I just walk away? Do I just fess up and pay? Like, I already look kind of...
Or do you cause a scene?
Right. Do I flip out and go, this is outrageous, whatever.
The sign says you got to do the sign.
And, like, I was thinking about it, and now I'm like, they think I want to flip this. Like, this is to protect them from me, like, just selling it with her autograph on it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm a fan.
How do I convince you that I don't want to flip this?
Because we've talked about this many times in the past.
Recently, too.
From sketch prices, from Comic-Cons, artists who will do personalized signatures are free. Otherwise, it's like, you know, $5 or it's whatever. And then it costs money. Because like this way they know you're going to keep it. So the autograph is free for the artists. So like, I didn't want to like cause any problems and be like, there's comic book people that handle this differently. I didn't want to just like bother them with that. I mean, because for the work that she's put in, I feel like that would be bothering her, right? So I just go, oh, I'll just take this picture then, like I'll buy one of your pictures and autograph that. And she's like, oh, what's your name? And I go, it's for a friend. And then I tell her my friend's name and like ask her to sign it to that.
I just gotta look up the buyer's name.
Can you sign it to the highest bidder, please? And so I left and I got some other stuff done, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, the reason I came was to get my DVD signed.
Right.
Like, the reason I'm here. So I might as well just do it. And so I go back up, and I take it out, and they're like, that's $50. Like, they didn't remember me the first time I was there, apparently. And I'm like, yep. And she goes, do you want me to sign each disc? And I was like, no. And then I was like, well, that would be getting the most value out of it, wouldn't it? Would it would I have to pay that per signature?
Right.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
That would be $300.
And she was like, do you want me to just sign it? And I go, to Alex, my name is Alex, ALEX. And like, she smiles. It's like, she gets it.
Yep.
I'm like, can I have like $10 back, please? I didn't say that to her, but
have you ever read the back of this? Having been someone who's never seen The Addams Family. Okay.
Yeah.
So Volume 1 introduces the creepiest clan, blah, blah, blah. There really is Scream, but whatever. Puns galore.
Right.
TV's most frighteningly funny family returns in Volume 2 as Gomez runs for mayor,
Yep.
Lurch becomes a pop star, Fester turns Pugly into a chimp, and Cousin It loses his hair. I want to say, like, no. None of that must have happened. They're just the Addams Family. They're like they're creepy, but like then they're like, are they dead? Maybe. But I miss TV sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Me and a friend we're talking about the show, and like she was telling me stuff I didn't know, and I was telling her stuff she didn't know, and it was going really great. Because like we mentioned, like there was a point where some pictures came out of the set in color. Because like, what does the set look like? It was always in black and white, and like the walls were pink.
Unless you were a live studio audience.
But like the walls were pink.
I don't believe you.
Because that's how they had to show up to get the right gray tone. And like, so it was a weird mix of pinks and I think greens too. And like in this picture, it was weird because like there's a stuffed two-headed tortoise, like a big turtle, and it was on the ground. And like as I'm saying this, I was like, it's kind of weird because, and then my friend goes, right, it's usually on this pedestal. Because it's got to be at chest height so everyone can react to it.
Right.
Because when a stranger comes in and they have to react to all the stuff and make it go, whoa, and then there's audience laughter and whatever. And what? Did you find something, or is it?
No, I'm just laughing at like the
audience laughter.
Because there's always the ongoing, no one understands the Addams Family, but it's normal to them, but not to the outside world.
Yeah. And a friend was telling me about at one point, the bear changed. It was always a big stuffed polar bear, and it was a brown bear for one episode, like grizzly bear. And then it was changed back to a polar bear again. But for some reason, they had to find a reason to say why it was brown. They're like, oh, Uncle Fester burned it in a fire.
So now it's brown.
Yeah. And I was like, why did they lose the white one in the first place? She's like, I don't know. But like, the fact that you know this makes you really attractive.
Those Addams Family mysteries.
But one of my favorite, Gomez decides to back a guy running for mayor, and he's like going to support him, and he's making all these signs, and one of the signs says, a guy so nice I'll vote for him twice.
That's legal though.
Uh-huh.
Right?
You can't vote for someone twice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's illegal. I thought you said
that's voter fraud.
Yeah.
So you're saying Gomez is a criminal.
That's what's great about it.
It's just that aloof, and the only Gomez. I don't know how similar they are.
They just pass on. They just keep going.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Like, was Raul Julia's performance as Gomez similar to?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because that's what I like. It's just like that aloof. Like everything's great. Like.
There are specific nuances that are a bit different between the two. Gomez was a little more, or the Raul Julia, I want to say, was a little more upper class.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the time, there was more of the fast talking, almost like the transatlantic dialect, I think is the term, not quite accent, where they kind of talk really fast. And it's like, oh, okay, send the paperwork,
Yeah.
And so that Gomez was doing that kind of thing at the time, and it fit in. But what Raul Julia was doing was, still fit in for the time that he was performing.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like a lot of things were similar. It was great. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't want to challenge them on their pricing, because that would have made me feel like a douchebag.
Yeah.
I didn't want a douchebag and
respect.
Like this is the person, like one of the 50% of the reason why I came to the show.
Yeah.
45%, let's say, because 10% was Kyle, but
obviously.
Yeah. I mean, Kyle was 90% because he's such a good friend.
That's a big 10% because it's like as big as a 10% can be. That's Kyle's 10%.
But like, if they could have done if you personalize it, will the price come down a little bit? Because if I only brought X dollars, and oh yeah, I don't know if anyone there took credit card. One of the vendors had a card swiper that I could take credit card at, but like the food booth didn't take credit card. Some of the celebrities didn't take credit card, because like then you got to run wires out into the hockey rink.
Yep.
So it's kind of a holdback. I'm not sure if the venue itself had Wi-Fi.
What doesn't? What kind of venue is this?
There was a lot of locked Wi-Fis, like security ones. There was one free one, but that was it was Karma by Decimated Designs.
Huh.
And like you go through Decimated and you have to sign into this Karma website and you can get free Wi-Fi from them. But like you have to log into it and sign, I don't know, half your life away or something.
Probably.
A couple of souls or whatever.
Classic Kyle.
Let's see. One of the pretty girls from Cabin Fever was there. An actor from Sinister and Sinister 2. An actor from Insidious. And then, oh yeah, Velvet Sky from Impact Wrestling.
Yay.
And then they do like the supernatural people who investigate stuff, or
they
don't
ghost
find,
hunters.
They don't find ghosts.
They talk to ghosts in English.
We're gonna talk about ghosts that they don't find.
So, overall, sounds like it was a good day trip.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing that like I have to take casually.
Yeah.
If I treated it like a Comic-Con, then I would be done in 40 minutes.
Yep.
You got to take your time and enjoy it. Find friends, chat with new people, make new friends, take some pictures.
Good way to spend one of the last remaining Saturdays you have for the last couple months or next couple months.
I have to hang around Scary Stuff, so in the meantime, I'm going to go visit Scary Stuff.
Yeah. Different type of scary stuff.
It was my choice.
Yeah. I
spent money instead of made it.
It's typically a better feeling.
Yeah.
A little bit of horror therapy.
If any listeners have never been to a horror convention,
myself included,
I would recommend checking it out, because like when I started this episode, it's everyone gets it. Like everyone has ideas and has themes, and like they're not really half-assing it. They're all the way in on their spoopiness. And so I suggest people check that out.
Yeah.
You could see some cool people. Oftentimes it's, oh yeah, they're from that. And like, it's the Dawn of the Dead. That's really old.
Yeah.
It means the actor's really old. So, yeah, they are. So go say
they
hi
were
to
in
them.
that thing.
Get at least one autograph from somebody. It'll be cool. Then you can say you have it. You can show your friends. Be careful if you want to bring like your butcher knife or anything to Mike Myers. I don't know.
Yeah, just do some research first. Find out the policy.
Don't like hide it in your pants.
Yeah. Maybe not hide a butcher knife in your pants.
And I took some quick pictures of there was a zombie laser tag, and I think they also had an escape room kind of deal, like a zombie escape room. Unless that was
That's a pretty cool idea.
Laser tag. Yeah.
Like they're breaking in.
And that was put on by the guys from Evidence of Evil. They also have a couple haunted houses, haunted attractions for the season, and the plan is to hopefully have them later on in a couple weeks and talk about this. But it was neat seeing like the zombies with the laser sensors like right on their forehead.
That's where they'd need to be.
You can't shoot them just anywhere.
Yeah.
Other laser tags is like, oh, you got your chest shot and your back, one on your shoulder.
Yeah, and everyone just turns sideways like assholes.
Yeah. Yeah. They're jerk. Someone's had the sensor on the gun, so you got to shoot the gun too.
Right.
Yeah. But this was just headshots only.
Respect.
And the guy Dave had walked me through, and like was pointing out some stuff, and like to have to turn a space like into a scary area, even though like you can't do that much to it, like you can't like destroy the walls and just splash blood everywhere.
Yeah. There's
certain things you have to just accept.
Yep.
But we could still make this kind of scary, and some parts were dark, and they had to cover up some of the windows. It ended up looking like a cool experience. Like if you had to go through there with a gun in your hands, like the laser gun, I took some pictures of those, and like there's zombies potentially coming at you, it's gonna be kind of freaky. But if you're just walking through like without any suspension of disbelief, it's like, oh, this is lame. Then you're not gonna have a fun time.
Like so every teenage,
every bro dude.
Yeah. Yep. Every single one of them. Hated them. Hate trying to just admit that you're scared of something and stop being an asshole.
Yeah.
God, you don't have to be a fucking tough guy.
No one thinks you're tough if you try to scare back the actors in the haunted house. No one enjoys that. Just you. You're the only one, and you look like a tool.
Yep.
I'm sorry. You know, our listeners don't do that. I'm sorry. I'm saying this directly to you. You know better. They know better.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
I'm sorry for that.
We got the good ones. So, but that sounds like a lot of fun. I need to go check out one of these shows just based on all the different people that you and Will and I think Seymour has gone to a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
In the past, I need to check out some of this shit.
A good number of attendees like are dressing up too. There was a girl and a guy. A guy had like his top layer of skull scanned off.
As
and,
you
like,
do.
There was some brain exposure. And the girl he was with had really good pus bubbles. Like a whole bunch of pustules on her face and her neck and everything. And I was like, those are really good.
Just top tier.
Those are really nice. Like, I wish I would have asked her how she did them because they looked so good.
Good pus bubbles.
Yeah. I was like, they weren't sagging at all. If she like blew them up herself somehow or like tried to make a bubble out of like latex or whatever. So I think they might have been rigid or some kind of solid like ball that she cut in half. They were
good.
But they were kind of clear too. Like they could have been like blood inside her. I was impressed.
Top notch pus bubbles.
I might look up.
That's what you can see.
I might look up pus bubble girl on the Instagram.
Check the tags. See if you can find her. Hunt her down. Acquire the skills. That sounds super fun.
Yeah.
My wife and I officially did our first, because we've been going, we like to walk around Target. It's therapy. In the past couple times, we've been going in anticipation of Halloween stuff being up. Like the back to school stuff's been getting diminished more and more clearance sales, back to school is going away.
That seasonal section.
We went like 3 days ago and there was like 3 costumes hanging. The rest was just like empty shelves. So you knew it was coming. Like they were prepping. And then John sent us the messages the other night with like a bunch of stuff, and I told her, so we had to go check out Target today, and we checked out all the, because like we didn't do much last year, we didn't really decorate. Again, I was going through new job stuff, and it was our first year in the new house, so, but this year we'd like to get a little bit of decorations. You know, it's just, it makes me happy. I'm excited for Halloween, and because considering I used to hate Halloween as a kid, I hated it. Had one bad experience, and it just ruined it for a while for me, so. Anyways, C2 HorrorFest sounded like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to enjoy it. It'll be nice. It's nice seeing you on a Saturday. I think you should relish it. What do you got? Like 1, 2 more?
None.
Yep. Oh, okay. There it goes.
The next 6 are spoken for.
Yep.
You get me for a lot of Friday coming up though.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. An upcoming Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to be at New York Comic Con. I'm actually pretty jazzed for that. So, should be super neat. Anyways, I believe that's going to do it. I need to get this thing uploaded within the next hour and 57 minutes. So, we're gonna call it. So, until next time, this has been JR.
I'm Alex.
And this is, I messed up my verbiage. I said this has been JR, but and now I have to say, and this has been episode 287. I'm repeating myself, you know? Oh, well. And this has been episode 287 of Opinions. This is a bad one.
Very opinions may.
Yeah, there it is. We're going to rebranding. That's what we're doing.